Hey there, Alex Kidman from Alex Reviews Tech here. Today taking a look at, and unboxing first because you kind of have to, the DJI Neo 2 drone. But before we start, and while I clumsily unpack it, a few upfront notes. DJI sent me the Neo 2 for review. I didn't buy it myself, but this doesn't mean I'm bought. Far from it. Watch some of my other reviews if you want to get a handle on how I deal with ethical issues, but the reality here is that DJI has no say at all over my review in any way, shape, or form. Even though it does have some pretty dodgy history when it comes to doing that kind of thing. I would not in any way proceed with a review without that. In terms of pricing, in Australia, a Neo 2 drone standalone runs $409, $549 for a drone and extra batteries and charger, or what I'm testing here, the Fly More combo, which runs $709. There's also a full-fat motion Fly More combo that costs a bit more, that includes a headset, though that does bring with it some legal complexities that most consumers probably would want to avoid. I should also point out that while I enjoy drones, I'm far from an expert, and it's been a while since my last drone review. As such, I can't compare the DJI Neo 2 to the DJI Neo, for example. There's plenty of heavy-duty drone YouTube channels out there if that's your thing, and that's great. My take is much more from the basic consumer side. Finally, and this is really important if you're using the DJI Neo 2 in Australia, you must obey the CASA rules around when and where you can fly. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is a drone that only weighs in at 151 grams, so it is nicely under the 250 gram limit. That would mean you'd need a different kind of license to use it at all. But you've still got to obey the rules around things like proximity to airports and some other facilities, not flying it near people and being a nuisance, and really critically, not letting it out of your line of sight. Theoretically, the motion goggles might pass the legal sniff test if you've got someone else watching the drone while you fly it, but I would not chance that if I were you. Keep your drones in sight, people, or, in other words, setup of the DJI Neo 2 is reasonably easy once it's unboxed, but there are some quirks. If you're using an Android smartphone, for example, you've got to download the APK for the DJI Fly app from DJI itself, while if you're on an iPhone, it's right there in the App Store. Why? It's a very good question, really, and while it's not that hard to sideload on Android devices, it's not something you should do blithely, and I do wish DJI had that sorted for direct Google Play access instead. I don't know why they don't. If my experience is any guide, you also need to work through quite a few firmware upgrades for both the drone and, if you're using the Fly More combo as I'm here, the controller as well. On my first trip out to test the controller, I hadn't actually done so, and it did take a while, because I was in an area with sketchy mobile performance, to manage the download of the firmware update before the controller would work. Charging also is going to take a while. And one annoyance here, given the total cost of the Fly More combo, is that it doesn't come with a charger in the box. You've got to supply your own. With all that out of the way, what's it like to use, and do you really need the Fly More combo? To answer the second question first, no, you don't actually have to buy the combo pack, depending on your needs. Though I'd argue, if you're keen, it's a smarter way to go, or at least one of the upgrade packs. The DJI Roam 2 will operate entirely hands-free from gestures and the buttons built into the drone itself, but while that's functional, it's somewhat limited, more of a party piece than anything else. You certainly do get some looks from bystanders when you hold out your hand and it lands there neatly. That's neat, but it's just kind of cute rather than really particularly functional. Phone control can be reasonable, and there are inbuilt controls for things like circle shots, dronies and the like, as well as follow mode for those who like more action-centric drone shots. Follow works very well, and while I'm only showing me here trying to avoid the Neo 2 on foot, and obviously failing, it can track quite a bit faster with mostly sensible object avoidance. Object avoidance outside sport mode also works pretty well to stop you flying the Neo 2 into things, though again, it's not 100% perfect, so once again, not being an idiot is a good bit of advice here. I should also point out that the googly eyes do not come in the box. They're on the drone because I am, at my base level, a very silly person. I think we can agree that they make the Neo 2 more fun, can't we? The difference switching to the full controller makes is quite profound because there's a much more obvious direct feedback between commands and the drone making changes to its movement that way. I will say, using the controller, that some larger phones, in my example, I was using a Galaxy S25 Ultra, can be a bit of a chore to fit into the controller's phone grip. I also worry that I'll lose the tiny joysticks somewhere, even though they actually have little holding brackets in the base for you to store them. Still, there's just such a much wider range of things you can do and film with the controller in a more natural and responsive way than you can with a phone touchscreen. Now, that might not matter to you at all, for example, if you just wanted a follow-style drone for your mountain biking or whatever. I'm not a mountain biking guy, but I can see how you could just do that. Hands-free, no phone, no anything else needed. Sure, that's fine. For everyday consumers who kind of want to fly around and have a bit of fun with it, I think the controller adds quite a lot. Now, the other benefit of the Fly More combo is the inclusion of 3 batteries rather than 1, although you can get a unit which is the drone and the extra batteries if you really don't want the controller. Now, DJI's claim here is that a single battery can last for up to 19 minutes of flying time. But, how do I put this? Oh yeah, no, it just doesn't. I never saw 19 minutes of flying time, or even particularly close to it. Typically, 10 to maybe 12 minutes or so of flying and filming time was the most I could get before the Neo 2 declared its battery was going to go flat and then it wanted to fly home. A quick word here on its return to base function. It does work, though the smaller weight of the drone can sometimes lead it astray. While I was filming, for example, a breeze picked up here and the drone actually refused to land. It was beeping at me, it was saying, I can't land here. I actually had to use the controller to force it to fly down under the gusty area, and then it decided, all right, yes, I can actually land. So is the Neo 2 worth buying from the basic consumer enthusiast point of view? Look, it's certainly better than the absolute bargain basement drones you can pick up online really cheap, both in terms of stability and functionality. It's a mile ahead. So those aren't terrible if you just want just some simple, really short-range flying fun. The fun won't last that long. The Neo 2 sits as a bit of a halfway house between those budgety drones and then the more pro-grade drones. DJI obviously has some plays there, and those are definitely outside my skill level, as I admitted up front. So, while at its price, it's undeniably a luxury buy in the sense that most of us don't actually need a drone, it is a nicely put together package and it's a lot of fun, at least while the batteries last. So that's my take on the DJI Neo 2. I know this is not a particularly new drone. I'm sure a bunch of people out there already have one. So if you've got any thoughts, any feedback or tips you want to throw my way, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching all the way through to the end.